It's the finals of the Path of the Strongest tournament, and the hype is through the roof as the arena literally explodes with energy. The commentator is losing his mind over the level of play. This isn't just a game. It's a historic showdown between legends. On one side, we've got the undying god of war, Lin Jie, going head-to-head with the genius sword saint, Chang. Lin Jie is the #1 berserker for a reason. His mechanical skills are flawless, and he's playing like an absolute monster. Every strike he lands is aimed perfectly at his opponent's vitals, making him look like an Asura straight out of hell. Chang is getting pushed to the brink. His defense just got shattered, and things aren't looking good. Lin Jie has a massive lead now, and honestly, the Sword Saint looks completely powerless to fight back. The system warns that Bailey's HP is dangerously low. It looks like we're about to crown a new champion. Lin Jie stands there, looming over his opponent with his massive blade, ready to end this once and for all. He's already celebrating, telling Bailey that it's over and he's the winner this time. Bailey looks like he's ready to accept defeat, blood dripping from his mouth as he admits he lost. But his expression suddenly shifts into something much darker. He refuses to go out like this. He can't believe he's losing here, not after everything, and his eyes flare with a desperate resolve. A massive red energy field erupts around them, as Bailey mocks the idea that simple hard work can actually win. He pulls out his trump card, the cheat system, and his sword starts crackling with an unnatural blue power. Lin Jie's smile vanishes instantly. Something is very wrong with the energy coming off that blade. Bailey drops 500,000 in real cash to activate a super speed boost through the cheat system. He becomes a literal blur, closing the distance before the god of war can even blink. Lin Jie realizes the truth. His friend is using a dirty cheat device to steal the championship. The speed is insane. Bailey is landing hits that shouldn't even be possible in this game's physics. Lin Jie is barely holding on as he gets tossed around by the sheer force of the boosted attacks. Bailey laughs, telling him that someone who believes in hard work will never change their destiny. He's moving so fast that his target can barely see his movements, let alone block them. Then he drops another 900,000 to activate a teleportation skill right behind him. With one final payment of over $1 million, he activates a one-hit kill and drives his sword straight through Lin Jie's chest. The system notification is cold. He's been killed, his account is permanently deleted, and everything he owns is transferred to Bailey. As his body starts to disintegrate into data, the champion can't believe he's losing in such a pathetic way. On his knees and fatting away, he asks the one thing on his mind. Why did you betray me? He screams for an answer, wanting to know why their promise meant so little compared to a cheap win. Bailey just looks down at him, his face cold as he offers a simple "I'm sorry." He tells Lin Jie to be his brother again in the next life, right before a massive beam of energy executes him. The finality of the system message hits hard. He's officially lost his player qualifications. The whole system starts to restart, wiping away 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears. As his consciousness fades into the red void, all he can feel is the crushing weight of failure. He thinks back to his life, born at the bottom of society with no money, no power, and absolutely no future. He truly believed that being ruthless and working harder than everyone else would be enough to change everything. Now his avatar is just floating pixels, scattered in the digital wind of a game that doesn't care. He was so close to the peak, just one step away from taking the throne he'd sacrificed his whole life for. He bet his very life on this tournament, and now he's paying the ultimate price. A crushing defeat that leaves him with nothing, but regrets as his final hand vanishes. In his final moments, he makes a silent vow. If he could just start over, he'd climb back up by any means necessary. The screen goes dark with the final system message. His journey in Epic is officially over. Lin Jie snaps awake with a scream, digital fragments still swirling in his mind like a leftover nightmare. He's gasping for air, his heart hammering against his ribs as he tries to figure out what just happened. He looks around in total shock. He's back in his old, messy room, and his sister is standing right there in the doorway. His sister, Lin Jie, is staring at him like he's lost his mind, asking if he's trying to cosplay a corpse on the floor. Lin Jie can't believe his eyes. He's staring at her as if he's seeing a ghost. In his previous life, Hui had been in a coma for 3 years after a horrific traffic accident. He remembers her hooked up to life support in the ICU, where every penny he earned went straight to her medical bills. But here she is, standing perfectly fine and looking at him with a confused expression. He rushes over and grabs her shoulders, frantically checking if she's really okay and not supposed to be in a hospital bed. She immediately kicks him off, calling her idiot brother a freak for staying up all night for a game launch. Ignoring the kick, He desperately asks her what the date is and what year they're in. She tells him it's June 22nd, the day Epic OL officially launches, and he realizes he's been sent 5 years into the past. It's not a dream. The god of war has actually been reborn at the very start of his journey. The memory of Bailey Changcheng's betrayal still burns, but now the tables have turned. He realizes that fate has finally tipped the scales in his favor, giving his life and his game a second chance. The pain of being backstabbed is still fresh, but he knows he has been given the ultimate opportunity to start over. This time, he isn't just going to play. He's going to stand at the absolute peak of Epic. He pulls out a gaming helmet, bought with 3 years of part-time savings and a risky loan shark loan. Back then, this game sparked a worldwide craze that evolved along with its players. It was a magnificent, high-quality virtual world that people couldn't get enough of exploring. In that world, he was the undying god of war, who climbed to the top using nothing but his own skill and grit. The common players praised him as a legend of technical play, and his popularity was through the roof. He was ranked number 2, just 1 step away from being the absolute strongest player in the world. But his best friend, Bailey Changcheng, couldn't handle the pressure and eventually gave in to his greed. He became the enemy who betrayed him, stealing the title that should have been his. Lin Jie tells himself that thinking about that now is useless. It's time to focus on the future. He slides the helmet on, determined to make sure those regrets never happen again. The system flares to life with a blinding light, welcoming him back to Epic OL. He stands in a digital void as the game prompts him to choose his class and join the millions of others starting from scratch. In his first life, everyone entered the game blind, having to figure out every single mechanic on their own. But to a veteran who's lived 5 years into the future, this entire world holds almost no secrets. He clenches his fist, feeling the power of the knowledge he's brought back with him. He spawns into the starting town, vowing that this time he will reach the absolute summit of combat power. Lin Jie takes his first steps back into the world, declaring that the king of mechanical skill has officially returned. This is the beginner village plaza, the starting point for every new player in the massive VR world of Epic. Somewhere in the crowd, people are already trash-talking, wondering why anyone would be crazy enough to pick a warrior class. That broke loser everyone is mocking is Lin Jie. He's level 1, geared in rags, and clearly doesn't care what they think. His stat screen is pretty basic, but for him, it represents a clean slate. Lin Jie is back. He's been through all of this once before, and he's ready to rewrite history. The memories of battles from 2 years ago are still fresh, back when he was at the top of the food chain. Back then, he was fighting in massive arenas, with the whole world watching him dominate. Even with a chance to start over, Lin Jie says he'd choose the path of the warrior every single time. His old rival, Bailey Changcheng, used to laugh at that, thinking the class was only for low-tier players. To guys like him, warriors were just meat shields for people who couldn't afford flashy spells or expensive gear. Bailey saw the class as nothing more than cannon fodder. He tried to convince Lin Jie to pick a deadly and elegant swordsman class, but the cool act didn't even last 3 seconds. Lin Jie didn't care about looking pretty. He believed in the raw power and resilience of a true warrior. In his eyes, surviving every crisis was the only way to earn the right to become something more. He reached level 80 and earned the title Undying God of War by never losing a single life in battle. But his rivals were already plotting to see if that title would still exist by the end of the day. Lin Jie just smirked and offered to make a bet on it. Bailey was all in, ready to see the God of War fall. Lin Jie held his ground, charging into the fray and proving exactly why he held that title. Fast forward to the present, and he's walking through town as a level 1 rookie again. He knows warriors have better health stats, making them much harder to kill early on. His plan is to eventually become a berserker, a class that trades its own life for insane combat power. He knows the pay-to-win crowd usually goes for the flashy, high-damage classes instead. Groups of mages, swordsmen, and assassins are everywhere, but they're mostly just followers. 9 out of 10 parties in the streets are just different combinations of these same DPS classes. When the server just opens, those cool classes get wrecked by early monsters with high stats. But warriors can hold their ground right from the start, surviving where others fail. Lin Jie plans to use his mastery of the mechanics to make up for any of the class's early shortcomings. A quest notification pops up, telling him to report to a guy named Outright in Mel Town. He finds Outright, the novice guide, sitting exactly where he remembered him 5 years ago. Seeing the old man again really brings back the memories for Lin Jie. Suddenly, someone bumps into him and immediately starts acting like a jerk. It's Bala, a level 2 paladin who's already trying to shake down newbies for copper. Paladins are the classic all-rounder class that pay-to-win players love because they can do everything. It's only been half an hour since launch, so hitting level 2 this fast means he definitely spent money. Sure enough, Balai bought a novice experience pack just to start bullying people early on. He thinks his level gap makes him untouchable, telling Lin Jie to pay up or get beat. Lin Jie isn't fazed. He knows these early spenders are just paper tigers. He knows the newbie reward is 10 copper coins, so paying 1 coin as protection money is technically a profit. But Lin Jie isn't about to give him anything. He asks why the hell he should hand over his money. Balai loses his temper and attacks, screaming about how much stronger he is. But Lin Jie just reaches out and shuts the attack down with his bare hands. Balai's face contorts as he realizes he can't move his arm. It's like all the strength has been drained out of him. Lin Jie just smiles, explaining that this is grip amplification, an innate talent he picked right at the start. Most players call it trash because it just makes it harder to drop your weapon, but it actually grants a hidden disarm resistance stat. Balai laughs, calling it a useless skill that even a dog wouldn't want. Lin Jie's grin only gets wider. Useless to you maybe, but for me. He knows that in the right hands, this is actually the strongest talent a warrior can possess. Balai starts to sweat when he realizes he's actually being disarmed barehanded in front of everyone. It looks like garbage on the surface, but the potential is insane if you understand the game's core mechanics. It allows you to parry basic attacks without a weapon. Plus, if your strength is higher than your enemies, you can trigger a counterattack that disarms them instantly. Balai might be level 2, but since he didn't put any points into strength, his stats are actually lower than Lin Jie's. He's just another pay-to-win idiot who has no idea how to actually play the game. What he doesn't know is that this talent eventually evolves into one of the most broken skills in the warrior tree. It becomes Titan's Grip, a legendary skill that every professional warrior dreams of reaching. It allows you to wield a massive two-handed greatsword with just one hand, but it's only available if you choose grip amplification at character creation. Suddenly, the town guards show up, and the surrounding crowd starts to scatter. Balai immediately plays the victim, pointing at Lin Jie and swearing to the guards that he was attacked in public. The level 5 guards surround Lin Jie, who just casually admits that he did it. Balai is thrilled, convinced that his VIP status will get Lin Jie executed on the spot. Lin Jie stays cool, telling the guards that it was clearly an act of self-defense. The guards hesitate, and Balai starts to panic. He shouts about how much money he spent on his account, as if that carries any weight with the town guards. Lin Jie knows the safe zone rules. The first person to strike is the aggressor, and the victim is allowed to fight back without penalty. The guards don't care about Balai's VIP status. They slam him into the ground for starting trouble. A system notification pops up. Since Balai was the aggressor, he's forced to pay Lin Jie a compensation fee of 1 copper coin. Lin Jie catches the coin, looking completely satisfied with how his plan worked out. Balai is fuming, but Lin Jie just mocks him by accepting the apology he never gave. He stares down the rest of the thugs, asking if any of them want to drop some more copper for him. They're too intimidated to step up, and Lin Jie tells them to either pay up or get out of his way. The thugs can only stand there and watch as Lin Jie walks right past them. He heads straight for the bench where the old man is sitting. His next task is to speak with Outright and claim his novice reward. Lin Jie sits down next to him and greets the old NPC like an old friend. Outright is confused. The game has only been live for a day, so there's no way this adventurer should know him. Lin Jie just smiles, mentioning that it's been at least 5 years since their last meeting. Outright laughs it off as a joke and offers the standard novice rewards: 10 copper, some potions, or an iron sword. Broke players would usually take the money, since it's worth a lot on the black market right now. But Lin Jie ignores the list and tells Outright he wants option 4. Outright is stunned. There are only 3 choices on the screen. He thinks the kid is hallucinating. Lin Jie leans in and recites a cryptic code. The bonfire before dawn will extinguish twice. Outright's eyes go wide with shock as he hears those words. Lin Jie continues the riddle, speaking about the dark moon sinking into eternal night. He looks the old man in the eye and asks if he still remembers that secret code. A flashback reveals that 5 years ago, Lin Jie had completed a hidden quest to save Outright's family from a monstrous threat. At the time, Outright was just a novice guide with no treasure or gold to offer in return for his life. So he gave Lin Jie a secret passphrase instead, telling him to use it if he ever found himself in need of help in the future. The old NPC had promised that even if the system changed his identity or erased his memories, the bond between them would remain. He vowed never to forget the man who had become his savior. Back in the present, outright stares at Lin Jie in awe as the hidden quest conditions are finally fulfilled. He joyfully presents the rewards, including the elusive veteran player return reward that has remained hidden for years. Lin Jie thinks back to his past life, where he was just one step away from being the strongest before a bunch of cheaters ruined it all. Unfairness is basically the rule of the world, but he's not about to play by those rules again. He refused to just accept his fate this time. He pulls out an initial talent stone, a rare item that's about to set him on a completely different path. The crowd can't believe their eyes. A custom gemstone that can't even be bought with real cash. To reach the top in this life, Lin Jie knows he has to be the absolute best right from the starting line. He locks in his choice, Oath of the Sword. It's the first step in his plan to rewrite history. The system explains that this path, created by a legendary sword saint, turns players into sword oathkeepers with insane skill. The catch is, they can never touch another weapon type for the rest of their lives. He gets asked if he's sure. Lin Jie doesn't hesitate, he's all in. As he heads into town, the whispers start immediately. Other players can't believe someone actually chose that class. The crowd mocks him for picking what's currently considered the worst class in the game. But they don't get it. The power isn't in the weapon, it's in the person using it. He silently thanks Adelaide for the gift. In his last life, it took him forever to unlock a second talent, but now he's got a massive head start on everyone else. He knows the pay-to-win advantages will fade soon enough once everyone hits level 5. With his skills, a basic iron sword is really all he needs to outplay everyone. Compared to axes or spears, swords might look weak on paper, but he knows better. Most people just haven't realized that the sword is the one weapon that actually rewards pure skill. His original plan was to choose grip amplification, but this talent stone changed everything. He ended up skipping his starter weapon, and is now heading out into the world completely empty-handed. Everything has changed this time around. One different choice at the start has already sent his story down a completely new path. He remembers the face of the man who took everything from him before. He wonders if his old rival, Bailey, will even recognize him this time. This time, he's going to be the one on top, and he's going to make sure the ending changes for good. Walking through the market, he hears a merchant shouting about cheap gear for new players. He decides to take a look at what's for sale. A guy in a purple hood is already there, kicking the merchant's stuff and calling it dog shit. Lin Jie's eyes land on a level 1 wooden stick with an attack power of exactly 1. It's classified as a club, but for some reason it's also got a sword tag attached to it. Something about it catches his eye. He stops to take a closer look. The poor merchant is terrified, begging for mercy since this is his only source of income. The bully mocks him, calling him a coward who doesn't even know how to fight. Lin Jie steps in, telling them that lifestyle players are just as important as anyone else. He points out that without crafters and alchemists, combat players wouldn't even be able to leave the gates. He asks the merchant how much for the stick, and the guy says it's just 1 copper coin. The bully is annoyed, asking who the hell he thinks he is. Lin Jie just introduces himself as a warrior. The goons lose it, laughing at the idea of a warrior using a stick. But Lin Jie just hands over the coin and closes the deal. Everything is lining up exactly how it was meant to be according to fate. The bully is pissed that his fun was interrupted, claiming he was actually doing a good deed. Lin Jie just stares him down, calling out the bullying for exactly what it is. The bully laughs in Lin Jie's face, mocking him for buying a piece of junk. He's convinced the newbie warrior just got totally played by the merchant. He calls the merchant a scammer and walks away with his goons, laughing at how gullible some people are. The group leaves, basically saying the merchant and his trash goods aren't even worth stepping on. They think he deserves to be scammed. Lin Jie looks down at the stick. He knows exactly why everyone else thinks it's garbage. In the early days of the game, these were a classic scam item. Novice players would buy them for 1 copper thinking it's a bargain, only to realize they're useless. No one cares about them once they learn better. But Lin Jie isn't some clueless novice. He's the war god who's handled 1,000 divine artifacts, and his gut is telling him this is something special. The system confirms it. This stick somehow has both sword and club attributes. That shouldn't even be possible in a normal classification system. There's only one explanation for a weird overlap like that. It's a glitch in the matrix, or something much more powerful. It's an unidentified divine artifact. Even if he can't unlock its full power yet, it works perfectly fine as a sword for now. He checks his status. Level 1 warrior name, Lin Jie the Returned. He's officially equipped with the wooden stick. His stats are base level, but in the hands of a pro, these numbers are more than enough to start a legend. Power is about how you use it. He arrives at the North Gate, where the atmosphere is thick with a dark, demonic aura. The town is under serious pressure. A world quest kicks off, Demons Offensive. The players are tasked with defending Mel Town from a literal demon army. Mel Town is stuck right on the front line, which is why the monsters outside this gate are way more aggressive than anywhere else. In his past life, this town was completely wiped off the map by this very invasion just a year after the game launched. He's determined to change that. Other players are charging out, blinded by the promise of high experience points from the demon mobs. They have no idea what they're in for. The guards at the gate try to stop Lin Jie, warning him that a level 1 novice will just be throwing his life away out there. Lin Jie doesn't bat an eye. He just calmly asks them to let him through, ignoring their pleas for his safety. The guard warns him that once he leaves, there's no beginner protection to save him. Lin Jie just smiles, saying he's looking for a challenge. He walks past them with total confidence, ignoring the warnings of certain death. It doesn't matter if they are higher level. "Open the gates," he commands. His sheer guts earn him an immediate reputation boost with the town guards for his bravery. His reputation in Mel Town jumps straight to friendly, just for being an absolute madman. He's making an impression. Most players don't know that Epic OL has hidden rules that reward people for pushing their limits like this. Challenge is key. If an NPC thinks you're brave enough to tackle something impossible, they'll start opening up hidden quests and favorable deals. Guard Captain Lance is impressed by his courage and asks for a favor. Just like that, Lin Jie triggers a hidden quest. This is exactly what he wanted, a level 3 quest being offered to a level 1 player. Everything is going according to plan. Lance explains that 3 of his men are trapped in the boss's camp. He's already given up on them and just wants their bodies back for a proper burial. Lin Jie knows that challenging high-level enemies is the best way to get rewards that can actually change the town's future. The stakes are high. He looks Lance in the eye and tells him he's not planning on just bringing back bodies. He's aiming for something better. To truly clear this dungeon, he needs to keep his level as low as possible while taking down the boss. It's a risky strategy. He's relying on his perfect knowledge of the boss's mechanics to pull off a level 1 solo kill on a god-tier creature. Confidence is key. Lance is completely stunned, wondering how this random kid even knows his name. He's never seen anyone like this. Lin Jie tells him to skip the funeral plans and start preparing for a victory celebration instead. He's going to save those men. Lance thinks he's crazy. To him, without a miracle, those men are already dead. He tells the novice to just play it safe and wait. Lin Jie doesn't stop walking. "I am that miracle," he says, leaving the captain speechless. He's got no equipment, but he's got skill. He's not leaving his life to luck. In this life, he's the one who controls fate with his own 2 hands. No more dying. He reaches a bleak graveyard at the entrance of the village. The place is littered with crosses. A river of blood is expected. He takes a sniff of the air, the smell of death and blood. It's exactly what he was looking for, no hesitation. The game's developers were notorious for making things punishingly difficult, but the rewards are always worth the risk. Tanks push forward. Nearby, a group of players is huddled around a campfire, desperately shouting for a tank or a support to join them. They're struggling. Forming a party is usually the smart move for your average player if they want to survive the night. He knows the optimal strategy, but then he hears a familiar, annoying voice. It's Rex, recognizing him and laughing at the idiot who got scammed. The past repeats itself. Rex mocks Lin Jie, asking why he's still clinging to that precious wooden stick. His group finds the whole situation hilarious. Lin Jie isn't even looking at them. "Boring," he mutters, completely unimpressed by their amateurish insults. Balai, the knight in the group, chimes in with a smirk, asking if the noob warrior is actually planning to farm monsters all by himself. The rest of the party laughs. They're convinced he's a total novice who's going to get crushed and come crawling back to beg for a party. Lin Jie ignores them, running the numbers in his head. Partying might be safer, but soloing is 5 times more profitable, and he's not looking for safety. Suddenly, with just a flick of the rookie warrior's hand, Balai was caught completely off guard, screaming in pure terror as if he had just come face to face with a monster. "What the hell is going on?" Balai asked, stumbling back, still in total shock at how his body had instinctively recoiled from such a pathetic threat. Lin Jie watches him with a cold, analytical eye. He realizes Balai has chosen the Retribution Flame talent, a high-risk build he's clearly not skilled enough to handle. The knight looks tough, but with that talent, his body is as fragile as glass. He tries to save face by claiming his foot just slipped. Lin Jie knows the cost of that talent. It reduces strength and turns the user into paper. It's a build for someone who never plans on getting hit. He dismisses Balai as a Ghostfire Knight. the kind of player who only ever hides behind their teammates and never leads the charge. To him, the man is a total coward. As the party moves forward, they're unaware that a demon is already tracking their every move from the darkness. The system alerts them that they've been spotted. Balai sees an opportunity to get rid of the noob and flashes a wicked, treacherous grin. He uses aggro focus to draw the demon's attention, then immediately bolts toward Lin Jie, planning to dump the monster on him. Lin Jie sees right through it. He realizes Balai is intentionally trying to get the monster to kill him. He has some brains, at least, he thinks. Instead of running, Lin Jie stands his ground. He needs a warm-up, and a level 2 demon is just the thing to get his blood pumping. The party watches from a distance, certain that he's frozen in fear. "He's definitely scared silly," Rex shouts with a mocking laugh. Lin Jie's gaze sharpens as the demon lunges. "I see it," he whispers, focusing entirely on the creature's attack patterns. He tracks the exact trajectory of the demon's sword swing, calculating the perfect moment to move. With a single, fluid motion, he executes a perfect dodge, letting the massive blade whistle past him by mere inches as the system confirms his skill. He knows the secret of his class. A true warrior only reaches their peak potential when they're standing on the edge of death. You can only become the undying god of war by constantly putting yourself in danger, he thinks, his aura shifting into something terrifying. He grips the glowing wooden stick, determined to reach the top in this life. He's not just playing a game, he's reclaiming his throne. He strikes back, catching the demon by surprise. "Pay attention, you idiot," he shouts as he lands a critical hit on the beast. The blow enrages the demon, increasing its attack power by 50%. It roars, becoming even more lethal and aggressive as it enters a frenzy. Balai watches in horror, convinced that Lin Jie is committing suicide. "Dashing forward now is just courting death, idiot," he screams. But for Lin Jie, this is exactly what he wants. The current intensity isn't enough, he thinks, lunging even closer to the beast's reach. He pushes into the demon's personal space, staying right in the line of fire. Closer, yes, just like this. He lands another massive blow, shattering the demon's defense with a critical hit that drains a huge chunk of its health pool. The monster screams in pain as its attack is interrupted. It's reeling, completely unable to keep up with Lin Jie's speed and precision. "Closer," Lin Jie repeats, his movements a blur of calculated violence as he presses the advantage. He strikes again and again, the wooden stick dealing far more damage than anyone thought possible. With one final, devastating arc of his weapon, he prepares to put the creature down for good. The system announces the kill. Lin Jie has soloed a Dreadfiend warrior at level 1. He knows this is the only true way to play the game. The party is speechless. He just killed it with a wooden stick. They stammer, their minds unable to process what they just saw. Balai stands up, his face pale with disbelief. He tries to convince himself it was all just incredible luck, otherwise it makes no sense. Rex steps forward with a newfound respect, or at least a new scheme. He suspects Lin Jie isn't just a lucky noob, but a former closed beta expert. He changes his tune immediately, asking if Lin Jie wants to join his party. "I'm missing an expert on my end," he says with a fake, friendly smile. Lin Jie doesn't even hesitate or look back. "Not interested," he says flatly, continuing on his way. Rex isn't giving up. He tells Lin Jie that the boss ahead, Chanter Griffin, requires a 5-man party to even stand a chance. A system notification pops up for Lin Jie. "Rick Ford is inviting you to join the party." Rex waits, his eyes full of opportunistic greed. To sweeten the deal, he offers to split all the profits 50-50. He's desperate to have Lin Jie's skills on his side to clear the dungeon. Lin Jie remains unfazed by Rex's pressure, calmly stating that 5 players is merely a suggestion for the dungeon, not a requirement. Rex breaks into a nervous sweat, incredulous that Lin Jie would even consider soloing. He tries to lecture him on the limits of individual skill in team dungeons. He continues his pitch, listing the rare rewards and legacy equipment up for grabs. He claims his team is the best shot anyone has at the first kill. One of Rex's teammates pipes up, warning that Griffin's second phase summons elite monsters that would instantly wipe a team without a proper tank. Lin Jie flashes a knowing smirk. He sees right through their desperation. They didn't invite him for his skill, they just need someone to soak up damage. "No, no, no, brother," Lin Jie says, halting their fake flattery with a cool, mocking tone. Rex puts on his best salesman smile, lying through his teeth about how they highly value Lin Jie's strength rather than just needing a human shield. Lin Jie closes his eyes, recognizing the transparent trap. He knows they just want cannon fodder to distract the boss while they reap the rewards. Rex watches him intently, his fake grin masking his impatience as he waits for a final answer. "So," he prompts. To their surprise, Lin Jie agrees. "I accept your invitation," he says, tapping the blue accept button floating in the air. The system confirms he has joined Rex's party. He knows the game mechanics well. Boss rewards scale with the number of participants. Entering with a full 5-man party forces the boss into its maximum difficulty mode, which is the only way to guarantee the best exclusive loot. As he walks with the group toward the dungeon entrance, Lin Jie thinks about the stakes. Once the hidden quest is finished, the boss disappears forever. He knows that to reach the pinnacle in this second life, he needs every advantage. This reward is the foundation of his early game power. With a determined clench of his fist and a sharp, hungry glint in his eyes, he vows to seize this one-of-a-kind opportunity for himself. Lin Jie stood before the brilliant blue portal leading to Chanter Griffin's dungeon. With just one hand, he charged ahead and completely cleared out the mob of monsters. The players nearby began to grumble, complaining about why they were letting him clear all those mobs by himself. But that sneaky bastard Rex claimed they needed to save their strength for the real fight. They're obsessed with the math, grumbling about how low the drop rates are unless you're a pay-to-win whale. Lin Jie ignores them, his eyes fixed on a glowing monster weapon lying on the ground. Suddenly, a system notification pops up. His wooden stick is looking for a host. A guy nearby scoffs, telling him to forget it since players can't loot monster weapons. He goes on a whole rant about how lootable monster gear would absolutely wreck the game's economy on day one. But Lin Jie snatched the monster's sword off the ground, catching the other guy completely off guard. Staring at his wooden stick, he asked if it was ready to fuse with the enemy's gear. The branch of the world tree starts glowing, beginning the fusion process right there. Just like that, he's got himself a demon's chipped sword with a massive strength boost. He remembers seeing this artifact at an auction 3 years ago in his past life. This isn't just any stick. It's a divine hilt that can wrap around any object and transform it into a sword. Back then, this thing sold for a staggering 100 million. While everyone else is stuck with trash-tier starter gear, the monsters are actually carrying the good stuff. By using the branch to mimic their weapons, he can upgrade his gear for free whenever he wants. He checks his status, now officially recognized as the Returned at level 1. His strength and endurance are decent, but he knows he's just getting started. With the high-tier sword in hand, Lin Jie and the group headed toward the town, charging straight toward the roaring sounds of battle. He arrives at a scene where the level 5 boss, Chanter Griffin, is absolutely wrecking the local guards. Rex stops him, telling him they can't intervene until the cutscene ends. The plan is to wait for the boss to hit its recovery phase before jumping in to finish it off. But Lin Jie isn't here to watch a movie. He's got zero interest in waiting for the cutscene to finish. He ignores the warning and starts walking straight into the middle of the fight. The guards can only stare in shock as he breaks the game's usual rules. He draws his sword, announcing that his only tactic is to start swinging. Breaking a cutscene comes with a heavy price. The boss's aggression level spikes to the maximum. One of Rex's lackeys thinks Lin Jie is a total moron for pulling the boss early. Rex tells his group to stay back and just watch the rookie get himself killed. The boss immediately switches targets, charging at Lin Jie with everything it's got. This might look like a suicide mission, but Lin Jie has a very specific reason for doing this. He's here to act as the butterfly effect that changes the entire direction of the quest. The two clash in a massive burst of energy, shaking the ground. Rex and his buddies are just waiting for the boss to finish him off, so they can swoop in for the first kill. They're already worrying about having to split the rewards with an outsider. Rex smirks, deciding he's not going to let a nobody take a cut of their experience. A system message flashes. Rex Terror has kicked Lin Jie from the party right in the middle of the fight. Now alone, Lin Jie dodges a lethal swing from the massive boss. He realizes their game. They use newcomers as fodder to weaken the boss so they can take the glory. They honestly believe it's impossible for a lone level 1 player to survive this. But Lin Jie knows they've completely miscalculated. Red energy erupts around him as he launches himself into the air, ready to strike back. The boss can only stare as this rookie brings down the power of a veteran war god. A massive shockwave tears through the air as the clash begins. Rex's group can barely believe their ears, hearing a sonic boom that sounds like the sky is being ripped apart. Lin Jie doesn't back down, shouting for the boss to bring everything it's got. His Oath of the Sword kicks in, boosting his attack power as he swings his blade with lethal precision. The onlookers are stunned to see a level 1 player actually holding his own against Chanter Griffin's HP bar. But the fight is just starting, as the griffin roars and enters its second, even more dangerous phase. The boss winds up a massive, purple-charged hammer strike intended to crush everything in its path. Lin Jie stands his ground in the eye of the storm, intentionally putting himself in the most dangerous spot possible. Rex's crew thinks he's lost his mind, convinced that trying to parry a charged boss attack is a death sentence. A violent purple explosion rocks the area, sending debris flying everywhere. The boss puts every ounce of its corrupt energy into the strike. Amidst the chaos, Lin Jie reflects on why everyone thinks the warrior class is a dead end. He knows that most people don't understand the true value of being able to choose your own path. Back before the game launched, the popular roles were reserved for those with the deepest pockets. Common players were often forced into support roles, or treated as nothing more than cannon fodder. He remembers that the warrior class was only free because it was considered the bottom of the barrel. But in that moment, he discovered a secret that changed everything he knew about the game. To truly grasp the top spot, he had to give up every other safe opportunity and go all in on this path. The bystanders are paralyzed, swearing it's impossible for a level 1 rookie to block a strike like that. Lin Jie's gaze hardens, determined to pave a path to the top that only he can walk. He activates grip amplification, bracing his sword horizontally to turn it into an unbreakable shield. He puts all his trust into his past life's experience and the weapon currently in his hands. The boss finally leaves an opening, and Lin Jie doesn't waste a single second. By narrowing his focus and giving up everything else, he's found a sea of opportunities right in front of him. With fire in his eyes, he vows that even gods will fall before him on his quest to become the strongest. Lin Jie dives in for the final strike. Lightning arcs through the air as he closes the distance. A massive explosion rocks the clearing. System notification: Chanter Griffin has been slain. Lin Jie hits the dirt, completely drained. He checks his status, thankful for the warrior class's high health pool. He stands over the boss's remains as the experience points start pouring in. He hits level 2, and his core stats take a significant leap. From a distance, Rex and his gang can't believe what they just witnessed. Rex stares in disbelief, realizing the boss didn't even reach its second phase. Lin Jie's reputation in Mel Town reaches revered status. He unlocks a secret achievement for the solo kill. A final system message confirms the Griffin and its legion are gone for good. The boss bursts, showering the ground in gold and rare materials. Rex's crew isn't happy, already labeling the victory as a bug. Rex orders his men to move in and clear the floor. Hawk tries to grab a coin, but a red warning box shuts him down. He's furious, screaming about his lack of looting rights. Rex realizes the truth. Lin Jie kicked them from the party right before the kill. He curses his bad luck, while the warrior calmly collects the spoils. The golden bell of the Griffin appears, a legacy divine artifact. Lin Jie spots the artifact glowing among the loot. He reaches out, and the items begin to react to his presence. Gold and materials fly straight into his inventory in a blur. Hawk tries to intercept a flying coin, but it zips right past his hand. Lin Jie bags the coins, while the goons whine about him, hogging the drops. Rex tells them to pipe down, eyeing the lone warrior. He explains that if they kill him now, he'll drop everything he just looted. Hawk is still nervous after seeing him solo a level 5 boss. Rex's goons activated Eagle Eye and saw that Lin Jie had a mere 3% of his health remaining. He's confident one grazing hit will be enough to finish the job. He orders the whole crew to flip their PvP flags. They begin to surround the exhausted warrior. Lin Jie tallies the loot: 100 copper coins and a massive haul of alchemy materials. He checks the current exchange rate and realizes he just made a fortune. Rex laughs, calling him a gullible fool for doing all the work. Lin Jie doesn't look surprised, calling out the immediate betrayal. Rex plays it off, claiming they only stayed back because they believed in him. He drops the mask, demanding his share of the credit and the loot. A red system alert flashes. Lin Jie has suffered a fatal heavy wound. He's coughing blood, his stats halved and health capped as the gang closes in. Rex stares him down, ready to introduce him to the villain gang's principles. Rex gloats about his gang's philosophy, explaining that cooperation is just a precursor to betrayal. He smirks while one of his men prepares a shot in the background. He tells Lin Jie it's time to hand over every single item he has. A glowing projectile streaks toward Lin Jie, who instantly recognizes the hunter skill, Eagle Eye. The arrow slams into the building beside him, a clear warning shot meant to show off the shooter's accuracy. Lin Jie looks back at them, questioning the point of the display. Rex demands not just the boss loot, but everything Lin Jie is wearing, right down to his underwear. He holds out a hand, offering to spare Lin Jie's life if he begs for mercy and trades the items. He wants to see the warrior completely disgraced, walking away with nothing. The gang laughs, calling him a bottom-tier idiot who just got lucky with the boss. Lin Jie lets out a quiet laugh of his own as his expression darkens. He stands his ground and gives them a simple answer. He refuses. Rex dismisses him as nothing more than a stepping stone on his own path to power. His goons watch as their leader prepares to deal with the stubborn warrior. Lin Jie dares Rex to come and kill him if he has the guts, which is exactly what the villain was hoping for. Rex accepts the challenge, his group standing ready to move in. He gives the order to kill, while his companion activates a lethal skill with a glowing dagger. Lin Jie pulls out the golden bell, and it immediately erupts with a blinding surge of energy. A beam of pink light strikes his position, but a golden barrier holds firm. An explosion rips through the area, but the shield doesn't waver. The gang stares in shock, realizing they're looking at the legacy divine artifact dropped by the Griffin. The tank goon breaks out in a sweat, wondering what kind of power they're up against. Surrounded by golden lightning, Lin Jie explains the bell only buys him 1 second of safety. The tank goon scoffs, thinking a single second won't save him from the inevitable. Lin Jie stares him down, nodding that 1 second is all he needs to finish a skill upgrade. Having reached level 2, he uses his free skill point to unlock a powerful warrior ability. He activates Death's Respite, a skill that triggers a massive health recovery when surrounded by enemies. His health bar surges past its maximum limit as a red aura flares around him. The goons are horrified to see him completely recover from his heavy injuries in an instant. Lin Jie's eyes glow with a fierce intensity as he asks if they're ready to see a real nightmare. Mechi orders the crew to focus fire, pointing out that Lin Jie's weapon is still out of reach. Lin Jie launches himself forward with explosive speed, catching them completely off guard. Rex's eyes widen in terror as he sees the warrior closing the gap. A single punch connects, sending one of the men flying backward. Lin Jie is a blur of motion, striking down anyone in his path with devastating force. The remaining goons are paralyzed with fear, unable to keep up with his movements. He leaves a dead archer in his wake, having ended him with nothing but his bare hands. With his unarmed combat enhancement active, his fists are just as lethal as any blade. Rex desperately shouts for Mechi to use an ice spell to pin the warrior down. Mechi unleashes an ice burst, encasing Lin Jie's feet in jagged shards of frozen mana. Thinking he's won, the tank goon brings down a massive sword toward the trapped warrior. Lin Jie easily shattered the ice with pure strength, then dodged the tanker's attack, remaining completely unscathed by the strike. Lin Jie winds up a devastating punch, his arm crackling with golden electricity. The ground shatters as he unleashes his fury, sending one of the gang members screaming into the distance. Mechi gapes in disbelief, unable to comprehend how his ice magic failed to restrain the warrior. Lin Jie explains with cold confidence that overwhelming strength is all one needs to shatter such pathetic bindings. Mechi trembles as he senses a terrifying battle aura radiating from the man he thought was already defeated. Panic sets in as he orders his archer to check Lin Jie's stats, desperate to understand what he's facing. Before Mechi can react, Lin Jie lunges forward and seizes his arm, silencing his frantic commands. He reminds the mage that their archer is already long gone, sent to the respawn point with a single strike. Mechi looks back in horror at the empty spot where his teammate once stood, realizing the true scale of the threat. With no other explanation for such power, Mechi points a trembling finger and accuses Lin Jie of using a cheat program. A golden fire burns in Lin Jie's eyes as he listens to the desperate accusations of a cornered coward. A memory flashed back as Lin Jie asked Bailey why he chose such a cowardly way to betray him. The cheater's eyes flashed with a chilling purple light as he replied that Lin Jie had simply chosen the wrong path. Lin Jie scoffs at the idea of cheating, stating that only the weak abandon their honor for a path of no return. He hauls Mechi up by his collar, disgusted that the mage would rather scream "hacker" than admit his own failure. Terrified, Mechi begins to beg, offering to abandon Rex's gang if Lin Jie will only spare his life. Too late, Lin Jie mutters, his fist igniting with a lethal surge of mana as he activates his power punch. He delivered a thunderous blow that created a massive shockwave, completely obliterating the mage. The dust settles, leaving Lin Jie standing alone in a fresh crater, his gaze fixed on the last remaining enemy. Rex emerges from the smoke, surprisingly calm as he claims Lin Jie has just threw away his greatest advantage. A predatory smirk crosses the villain's face, convinced he has finally figured out how Lin Jie's profession works. Drawing his twin daggers, Rex notes that Lin Jie's strength spikes specifically when he is outnumbered. A system window confirms the warrior trait, Last Stand, which grants a massive stat boost only when under siege. Since he is now the only one left, Rex believes the buff has expired leaving Lin Jie vulnerable. Lin Jie simply draws his greatsword, unfazed by the analysis, and promises to end this with a single strike. Rex's body is wreathed in a sinister purple mist as he boasts about his specialty in one-on-one player killing. The two warriors clash in a violent burst of energy, each determined to end the other's life. Sparks fly as steel meets steel, and Rex confidently mentions his lethal weak point strike trait. He explains that as a killer, every strike he lands will burden his opponent with debilitating debuffs. A mental map illustrates the horror: blindness from headshots, crippling leg wounds, and bleeding from the torso. Lin Jie observes his opponent's movements, well aware that even a single graze could start a cascade of failure. Rex lunges forward with blurring speed, acknowledging that Lin Jie is doing remarkably well for someone with such a clumsy weapon. He laughs, certain that his close quarters advantage in stacking debuffs will eventually overwhelm the warrior. Rex continues his frantic assault, mockingly calling Lin Jie's defense a futile dying struggle. In response, Lin Jie's blade begins to pulse with an intense, burning orange radiance. He suddenly vaults backward, creating distance to prepare for his next devastating move. Rex is momentarily stunned that Lin Jie still possesses such immense destructive power despite his injuries. He quickly regains his composure, sneering that he will simply win through a battle of attrition. Lin Jie's eyes flare with an inner fire as he retorts that he has no intention of dragging this out. Like a meteor of burning wrath, Lin Jie charges at his foe, telling him to repent while he waits to respawn. Terror finally grips Rex's heart as he realizes he cannot dodge the incoming strike. The air itself explodes as Lin Jie lands a crushing blow, shattering Rex's confidence along with his gear. Rex reappears at the Resurrection Crystal, his body pixelating as he respawns in the town center without a single piece of gear. Disoriented and humiliated, he stares at the system notification informing him that he was killed by Lin Jie and suffered a level penalty. Rex's teammates look on in shock as their naked leader rages, realizing that every item he obtained in the last 24 hours has been dropped. Back at the site of the battle, the remaining gang members are paralyzed with fear, realizing they have no hope of recovering their stolen gear. From the town square, Rex's furious screams echo through the streets as he vows to get his revenge on Lin Jie. Lin Jie stands amidst the spoils of war, his silhouette imposing as he looks down at the equipment Rex left behind. One of the surviving goons rubs his neck in pain, wondering where the rest of his team disappeared to so quickly. He freezes as he notices Lin Jie approaching, the warrior's calm demeanor more terrifying than any open threat. The goon raises his sword with trembling hands, desperately warning Lin Jie to stay back or face the consequences. Lin Jie ignores the pathetic display, tossing a bundle of gear toward the man and telling him to return Rex's clothes to him. He stops to deliver a final, chilling message for the goon to pass on to his disgraced leader. Wreathed in a dark, ominous aura, Lin Jie promises to hunt them down until their levels are reset to 0 if they ever cross him again. The terrified lackey can only stammer out his compliance, his will completely broken by the warrior's intense presence. He watches Lin Jie walk away, his breath hitching as the sheer pressure of the encounter finally begins to subside. Left alone in the wake of the destruction, the goon struggles to process the nightmare he just survived. He collapses to his knees, retching from the phantom pain of a battle that was over before it truly began. From a distance, he stares at Lin Jie, receding back, wondering what kind of monster they accidentally unleashed. To the surviving witness, Lin Jie's power feels like an oppressive force of nature that can no longer be measured by simple stats. In his eyes, Lin Jie is no longer just a player, but a god of war who has clawed his way back from the depths of hell. A series of system notifications flood Lin Jie's vision, rewarding him with a massive reputation boost for resisting the malicious PK. The warrior has achieved legendary status in Mel Town, earning the respect of NPCs and unlocking exclusive storyline privileges. Despite the betrayal of his former teammates, Lin Jie finds satisfaction in the gains he's made, deciding it's time to head back to town and rest. As Lin Jie walks back into Mel Town, the guards aren't just standing there, they're lining up to give him a hero's welcome. He's completely caught off guard. This isn't the usual greeting for a level 2 player. Every soldier drops to one knee as a system message pops up. He's just secured the legendary title, Blade of Dawn. The other players watching are losing their minds. Seeing NPCs bow to a player is basically unheard of. They're trying to figure out if he's some high-tier VIP or if he just spent a fortune, but none of it makes sense for a trash warrior. Lin Jie recognizes the name. He remembers hearing about this specific title back in a dungeon from his previous life. The legend goes back 3 years, to a time when the world was trapped in a never-ending night. Civilization was on the brink of being wiped out by monsters. Then a lone human warrior stepped up with a simple sword that could somehow tear through the darkness. He led an alliance into one final battle just before daybreak. With his blade held high, he finally brought the sun back to the world. That's where the Blade of Dawn title comes from. It's a mark of ultimate bravery. It's one of the 8 legendary legacy titles the devs hyped up before the game launched. Nobody actually managed to get one in his old life, but here he is, holding it in a beginner village. Lin Jie just smiles to himself. This is a massive haul he didn't even expect. The guards are still fawning over him, saying his actions moved the entire town to tears. They tell him Mayor Oliver Green is so impressed, he wants to throw a massive banquet in his honor. A side quest pops up immediately, directing him to the council hall. The guards offer to escort him, but Lin Jie shuts that down real quick. He knows being too flashy is just an invitation for people to start trouble. Low profile is the way to go. Meanwhile, Rex is lurking in an alley, gripping his dagger and fuming. He's just waiting for Lin Jie to step into the wrong corner so he can get his revenge. His buddy Mechi is getting nervous, though. Everyone in town loves Lin Jie now, and they still have to live there. Rex doesn't care. To him, being infamous is just as good as being famous. He thinks if they kill him, other villain players will see them as legends. Rex is convinced he's the big shot here in Meltown. That is, until a guard shows up. The guard shuts them down instantly, reminding them that drawing weapons in town is strictly banned right now. Rex tries to play it off like they're just discussing business. The guard isn't buying it. He knows they have a record and tells them to keep it clean if they want to stay. Rex is left seething in the dark, still swearing he'll get his chance. Lin Jie ignores the drama and heads straight for the mayor's office. He pushes the door open to find a very enthusiastic Oliver Green waiting for him. The mayor is practically beaming, calling him Lord Blade of Dawn the second he sees him. He grabs Lin Jie's hands, thanking him for finally getting rid of that nightmare griffin. The mayor is laying it on thick, calling it an achievement that'll go down in history. Lin Jie is actually a bit surprised by how friendly the guy is being. In his last life, the mayor was always stressed out and cold. Dealing with the demons had him exhausted, but now the man looks totally refreshed. Lin Jie just plays it humble, saying he was just doing his part. The mayor isn't done yet, though. He's got big plans to commemorate this victory. He pulls back the curtains to show the town square and makes a wild proposal. He wants to build a giant gold statue of Lin Jie right in the middle of the plaza. He wants every single person who comes to Meltown to see it and feel inspired. Lin Jie thanks the mayor but turns down the statue, saying empty fame doesn't actually help anyone. Instead, he's got a better idea for how to use those resources. Mayor Green is all ears, willing to give him gold, a noble title, or whatever else he wants. Lin Jie suggests investing the military funds into something that actually benefits every player in town. His first request is a massive, long-term tax cut for trading to help new players grow faster. Second, he wants to beef up the town's security so monsters like the Griffin never threaten them again. The mayor is stunned. He's seen plenty of people chase power, but never anyone who cares this much about others. He agrees immediately and orders the tax changes to go live right away. A town-wide announcement hits everyone's screen. Taxes are being slashed by 50% as a reward for Lin Jie's military merits. The players in the square go wild, wondering what kind of god-tier player would spend this much money just for charity. Back in the office, the mayor is practically in tears over Lin Jie's noble character. He pulls out a golden key, insisting that Lin Jie take one more gift as a personal thanks. It's the deed to a 2-story building on the edge of town, overlooking the windmill fields. He officially invites Lin Jie to make Meltown his permanent home. Lin Jie is floored. He just became the first player in the entire game to actually own land. In a game run by a super advanced AI, owning land is basically an impossible dream. It's not like other games where a rich kid can just buy out a whole commercial street. In Epic OL, almost every inch of land is already claimed by the system, cities, or native tribes. Native tribes guard their territory fiercely, and the most valuable spots are usually crawling with high-level monsters. Most players only ever get to rent a small stall or a workshop if they're lucky. Even giant guilds sink millions into trying to secure a tiny bit of territory, and even then, they could lose it all in a single failed defense mission. Having his own private base, this early gives him a massive leg up on everyone else. It's the perfect spot for storing supplies or researching high-level skills. Lin Jie accepts the gift, telling the mayor he really likes the place. The mayor is just happy to have him staying in town, calling it an inspiration. A series of system rewards follow. He can now teleport repair gear instantly and even use the auction house remotely from within town. And because of his noble character, he gets a permanent 15% discount on everything he buys. Not a bad way to start his new life. Meltown is looking peaceful, and Blade of Dawn is feeling pretty good about himself. With the mayor's discount in mind, he decides it's time to head to the market and restock. But out of nowhere, a figure in a red cloak brushes past, successfully pickpocketing him. A system notification pops up. He just lost 100 copper coins in the blink of an eye. The thief, a girl in a purple hood, smirks as she weighs the coin bag in her hand. He doesn't hesitate for a second and lunges forward to get his money back. She slips away like a shadow, leading him deeper into the city's backstreets. He's clearly annoyed, thinking the town's security is a total joke if this happens in broad daylight. The chase is on as he tails her through the crowded market district. She leads him straight into a dark, quiet alleyway far from any guards. He catches up and warns her that she's run herself right into a dead end. She turns around with a playful grin, revealing herself as Zia Lion, the manager of Dark Street. Suddenly, a group of level 3 thugs steps out from the shadows to surround him. He recognizes the situation immediately. This is the town's dangerous hidden side. Zia Lion is surprised by how much he knows, questioning if he's a veteran from the closed beta. He's seen these tricks plenty of times in his past life and isn't impressed. She gets straight to the point. Someone paid a high price for his life. He narrows down the suspects to 2 people, Paladin Balai or that coward Rex. He looks her in the eye and asks which one was desperate enough to hire a hit. She just gives him a cryptic smile, saying he should already know the answer. He laughs it off, knowing Rex is too much of a loser to face him directly anymore. She claims she's just an NPC doing a job and doesn't care about the drama between players. With a cold look, she gives her men the order to finish him off. The thugs charge in, blades drawn for what they think will be an easy kill. He stands his ground as they lunge at him from both sides at once. A massive shockwave erupts as their weapons clash against his defense. In an instant, the thugs' weapons are shattered into pieces by his weapon destruction skill. Zia Lion claps her hands, admitting she's impressed by how tough he actually is. He doesn't drop his guard, asking if she wants to try her luck next. She realizes this is a losing battle. The medical bills for her men would cost more than the bounty. She tells her crew to fall back, knowing they're totally outclassed by him. She sighs, already stressing over the profit loss from this entire mess. She decides she'll just tell Rex the target was too tough and walk away. She bids him goodbye, even inviting him to visit the Dark Street for a drink sometime. But he's not letting her leave just yet and calls out to stop her. She's confused, wondering why he isn't just happy to walk away with his life. He demands she return the bag of copper coins she stole from him earlier. She's actually offended, shocked that he would dare to bargain with her. In her mind, that money is just the fee he pays for her being merciful today. His eyes flare with a fierce light as he prepares to settle the debt by force. He tells her if she wants the money he earned, she'll have to take it with her own skills. Zia Lion draws her massive blade, more than happy to accept the challenge. The two of them square off in the narrow alley, neither one willing to back down first. They clash in a burst of sparks, the sound of metal on metal echoing through the street. Zia Lion is a blur of purple energy, her sword moving way faster than any ordinary NPC. She's actually impressed he can handle her weapon destruction skill without breaking. But Blade of Dawn is confused. In his past life, she was just a nobody at the black market. She jokes about lending him money for a new blade, clearly enjoying the chaos of the fight. He wonders why her personality is so theatrical and different from what he remembers. Even without a weapon, he's confident he has what it takes to take her down. He clenches his fist, determined to get back every single copper coin she stole. She finds his confidence hilarious and a little bit old-fashioned for her taste. She's in a great mood, so she doesn't mind a few more rounds of trading blows with him. With a wicked grin, she orders her men to show him a real Dark Street welcome. The thugs start cheering for her from the sidelines, convinced their boss is totally invincible. On her command, they all prepare to dive headfirst into the chaotic fray. The alleyway turns into a crowded battlefield as everyone jumps in at once. Zia Lion lunges forward again, her body wreathed in dark purple light. She's behind him in an instant, whispering that he's just way too slow to keep up. He doesn't panic, narrowing his eyes as he focuses all his senses on her next move. She doesn't let up, throwing another heavy strike his way to see how he reacts. The impact is massive, and he has to dig his heels in just to hold his ground. He blocks the follow-up strike perfectly, much to her surprise and annoyance. He's forced to admit that for an NPC, her strength is far beyond anything he expected. Not wanting to just stay on the defensive, he launches his own powerful counterattack. Their energy-clash strikes collide midair, releasing a burst of blinding white light. He narrowly dodged her high kick and received a compliment for his sharp reflexes from his opponent. They trade punches in a high-speed exchange that starts cracking the pavement beneath them. Suddenly, lightning crackled around his arm, catching her completely off guard now that her hand was locked in his grip. But before the punch could land, with her master-level skill, she managed to break free from his control. The final lightning-infused blow was unleashed, narrowly missing its mark as she managed to break free and dodge the strike by a hair's breadth. When the smoke clears, he's standing in the rubble with electricity still dancing around him. She smiles and admits that without her blade, she really can't take him down today. He points out that continuing this fight is just a waste of her time and resources. She stares at him intently, realizing she's dealing with someone truly special. Then she bursts out laughing, finding his logic and strength absolutely fascinating. She calls it quits and tosses his coin pouch back into his waiting hands. To her, finishing her business is way more important than a petty street fight over coins. She gathers her men and leaves with a playful farewell, telling him they'll meet again. He stands alone in the alley, watching the strange woman and her crew disappear. He catches the pouch and immediately realizes it's actually heavier than it was before. When he opens it, he finds a mysterious, glowing blue artifact hidden inside. He can't believe his eyes. It's the legendary Eye of True Sight he's been looking for. A message appears from Pei Xuan of the Dark Boat, wishing for a future cooperation. Blade of Dawn stares at the bizarre gift, wondering why Pei Xuan would offer cooperation with something so creepy. The moment his finger brushes the artifact, a sudden surge of blue energy pulses through it. A blinding light erupts from the eye, completely engulfing his vision in a swirl of raw power. The pain is instantaneous and agonizing, forcing him to his knees as the ancient energy fuses with his very being. A system notification flashes before him, announcing that he has obtained a rare divine artifact, the Eye of True Sight. Linked to an ancient god, this mysterious eyeball grants him the unique ability to shatter any illusion and perceive the truth. As the intensity fades, he realizes he's gained an incredible item he never even knew existed in his previous life. He smiles to himself, knowing that this version of Meltown is proving to be far more interesting and rewarding than the last. Lin Jie is back in the busy streets of Meltown. He wanders through the market, keeping his eyes peeled for anything useful. A merchant shouts out his prices, black stones for just 1 copper per pile. The warrior stops as something catches his attention. He stares at a crate of basic minerals that most players would just ignore. Black stone is everywhere, and most people think it's just trash that takes up inventory space. Suddenly, his Eye of True Sight activates on its own. One specific rock in the pile starts to glow with a faint purple light. It's clearly not like the other rocks in the crate. The system confirms it. He's just found a rare starlight stone. Lin Jie can't believe he found a treasure just by taking a stroll. He flips a coin to the merchant to secure the deal before anyone else notices. He asks if the stones are for sale, and the merchant is more than happy to take his money. The guy laughs to himself, thinking he's just found the biggest sucker in town. Lin Jie walks away with the stone, letting the man enjoy his little victory. Once he's out of sight, he peels back the rough outer layer. Underneath is a flawless starlight stone that no ordinary appraisal could ever find. To an NPC, this single gem would be worth at least 100 copper coins. But he has a better plan. He's going to grind it down for alchemy. In Epic OL, players have total freedom when choosing their lifestyle professions. Most people pick up a craft or two just to help their combat class, but alchemists are in a league of their own. It's an expensive and dangerous trade, where one mistake can cause a massive explosion. In this profession, a failure usually means instant death for the user. He pulls up the current market prices to see what people are paying for potions. A medium health potion goes for 10 copper, but the shop limits you to just 1 a day. The official recipe is a total scam. The materials cost more than the final product. Toss in a 60% failure rate, and you're basically paying double to make it yourself. It's why most players who try to get rich off alchemy just end up going broke. Luckily, Lin Jie lived in this world for 5 years and knows all the hidden recipes. He had the knowledge, but he was missing one vital ingredient. To make it work, he needed starlight stone powder. That gift he got from Pei Xuan just gave him the chance to make a massive profit. A couple of players are watching from the shadows, noticing he's buying more trash. They figure since he's the Blade of Dawn, he must know something about the economy. One of them decides to blindly follow him and buys a whole stack of black stones too. Even the merchant starts to wonder if he accidentally sold those rocks too cheap. Lin Jie gathers the rest of his supplies, bottles and some cheap herbs. He crushes the gem, and the system confirms he's crafted flawless starlight stone powder. The stalkers are baffled, trying to figure out what he just smashed. They're convinced that crushing those stones is the secret to making high-grade gear. They try it themselves, but they just end up with piles of useless dust and trash powder. Lin Jie begins the process by pouring grass leaf essence into a medium crystal bottle. He adds a dash of starlight stone powder, which catalyzes the mixture and boosts its potency. But the crafting process isn't quite finished yet. Watching from a distance, a couple of stalkers are convinced he's performing some kind of secret high-tier ritual. The warrior turns his attention toward the town's central fountain for the final step. He fills the bottle with plain fountain water, leaving the onlookers completely baffled. The mixture reacts instantly, turning into a bright, glowing green liquid. The system confirms his success. He just crafted a medium health potion. He's satisfied to see that the appearance and efficacy are identical to the ones sold in high-end shops. The onlookers are skeptical, whispering that he must be selling fake medicine to unsuspecting players. But the crafting success notifications keep piling up as he continues to work. He finishes a batch of 100 potions, earning massive experience and leveling up his alchemy skill multiple times. He smiles, realizing his knowledge of the future is the ultimate tool for building wealth. Players quickly swarm him, eager to buy in bulk since they've already reached their daily purchase limits at the official shops. Just 1 hour later, he's officially sold out of his entire stock. By selling them for just 1 copper less than the shop price, he managed to move his inventory instantly. He does some quick math. His initial investment has turned into 1,000 copper coins in record time. Holding a heavy bag of loot, he realizes his earnings have multiplied tenfold in a single afternoon. Meanwhile, the two stalkers think they've found a major exploit they can use to get rich quick. Jabba starts mixing his own batch, confidently following the steps he thought he saw. But instead of a healing brew, he creates a toxic potion that billows with black smoke. He tries to act cool, claiming it's just a health potion that came out the wrong color. His buddy isn't convinced and dares him to actually take a drink. A burst of purple energy erupts, and the system announces that Jabba has officially killed himself. The surrounding crowd is stunned, whispering that another player has finally gone off the deep end. Lin Jie isn't surprised. Attempting to craft without the right recipe is a guaranteed way to trigger the curse of alchemy. With his pockets full of cash, the warrior prepares to log off and manage his new wealth in the real world. Lin Jie wraps up his business in the game and prepares to log off. Back in reality, home is a cramped, run-down apartment building. He pulls off his headset, thinking about the 50 copper coins he just traded for 5 million yuan. A notification pings on his phone. The first million has already hit his account. He's actually surprised by how fast the transfer went through. His quiet moment is ruined when he hears a loud commotion coming from the living room. A group of debt collectors has barged inside, looking for their monthly cut. Lin Jie's mother and sister, Zai Zai, are cornered and clearly terrified. The leader is fuming because he just blew 1 million playing the same game Lin Jie was just in. He's looking to take out his frustration and his losses on them right now. His mother begs for more time, but these guys aren't interested in excuses. The boss is totally unimpressed and ready to get violent. One of the thugs grabs Zai Zai, and she starts struggling as they get aggressive. Her mother screams her name, but she's helpless against them. The boss eyes Zai Zai creepily, suggesting she'd fetch a good price on the market. He mocks Lin Jie's mother, calling her son a useless shut-in who's probably hiding in his room. He even jokes about selling the boys' organs if they can't pay up. Lin Jie finally steps out, asking if 1 million is really enough to settle things. He holds out his phone, showing the boss exactly what he wanted. The thugs start laughing, thinking he's just a kid acting tough until they see the screen. One of them checks the account balance and realizes the million is actually real. Lin Jie stares him down, asking again if that's enough. His mom and sister are completely stunned, wondering how he could possibly have that much money. The thugs are busy counting the zeros, unable to believe what they're seeing. The boss is left speechless, staring at the screen in disbelief. He suddenly grabs Lin Jie by the shirt, demanding to know how a stinking gamer got this rich. He's not just curious, he's looking for a way to squeeze even more out of them. Lin Jie stays calm, telling him the truth. He made it all playing games. Hearing that a loser made 1 million while he lost one sends the boss into a jealous rage. He decides the million doesn't count as debt. He claims it as compensation for his own losses. Lin Jie's expression turns cold. He's not about to be extorted. The boss reaches for his knife, but Lin Jie's hand moves in a blur. The guy doesn't even see it coming. He's shocked by how fast the movement was. Lin Jie lets him know that his skills in the virtual world work just fine in reality. He slams the boss down onto the table, pinning his arm with a painful thud. The other thugs are frozen in shock as their leader screams in agony. Lin Jie warns them not to move an inch if they want to stay in one piece. The boss's attitude changes instantly, begging brother to go easy on him. Lin Jie looks like a different person, his gaze filled with pure intensity. The boss feels a terrifying aura coming off him. It's like staring at a demon. Lin Jie asks one more time if he still plans on trying to extort him. Terrified, the boss claims it was all a misunderstanding and begs to be let go. His lackeys immediately fall in line, terrified of the display of power they just witnessed. Lin Jie makes it very clear that their presence is no longer welcome. The thugs scramble to leave, not wanting to push their luck any further. Zai Zai watches them run, her shock slowly turning into confusion about her brother. She's still fuming, calling out how rude they were and threatening them with another beating if they ever come back. From the balcony, the thugs shout their apologies, swearing they wouldn't dare return. As the dust settles, his sister realizes there are some big questions that need answering. Lin Jie plays it off, but his sister isn't letting him off the hook that easily. She demands an explanation for where their hidden millionaire has been all this time. Lin Jie starts to sweat, realizing he needs a believable story to keep his family from worrying. She stands her ground, arms crossed, waiting for him to start talking. He looks at her and thinks about how grateful he is that in this life, she's still alive and healthy. In his previous life, the loss of his father and his sister's illness left the family drowning in debt. The entire burden of their survival had fallen onto his shoulders. Back then, finding a decent job was nearly impossible for someone from his background. He spent his days walking the streets, barely seeing any hope for the future. Everything changed when he saw the massive advertising push for a new world. They promised a realm of endless wealth for any player willing to explore it. His initial motivation was simple and honest. He just needed to make money. Starting out as a level 3 warrior, he looked like any other rookie trying to find his way. A gold farming group leader approached him, looking for anyone who wasn't afraid of dying. The pay was pitiful, only 2 copper coins for a full run. Even so, Lin Jie agreed to the deal without a second thought. Every battle in those early days was a literal brush with death. The group leader was impressed, nodding that he was surprisingly tough to kill. Lin Jie managed to survive the end of every raid, leaving others to wonder if he was cheating. Covered in digital blood and exhaustion, he just kept moving forward. Recognizing his hard work, the leader even tossed him an extra copper coin as a reward. He was asked to keep helping them out in the future, and he agreed. Relying on his experience with life-or-death situations, he kept pushing his limits. His combat skills sharpened until he was a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. He reached a point where he could survive alone, even if his entire party was wiped out. As his mastery grew, so did his ambition. He wanted to prove that a technical player could be the strongest. He was determined to reach the top and stay there. The goal was simple: get strong enough to protect those who mattered most. Eventually, he met Bailey Cheng, a man who fought by his side with the same drive. They made a pact to become the strongest in their respective roles. They even promised a final showdown once they both reached the peak. Lin Jie's reputation grew until he was known as the undying god of war, invited only for the hardest battles. His income soared, and his family's financial nightmare finally seemed to be ending. That was until an agent from the Pinnacle Battle approached him with a demand. He was told he had to lose the match on purpose, an order that went against everything he believed in. Lin Jie reflects on his past life, where he possessed the strength to compete for the title of the strongest player in Epic. He was determined to win the final match, as the 100 million prize money was the only way to save his sister. His frustration boils over as he remembers being told he was required to lose the championship on purpose. The tournament representative callously explains that the Pinnacle Showdown is nothing more than a game controlled by capital. He makes it clear that a commoner like Lin Jie cannot be allowed to overshadow their hand-picked star, Bailey Cheng. Lin Jie is convinced that Bailey, his friend and rival, would never agree to such a dishonorable arrangement. He was determined to give his all in that final battle, honoring the pact they made to both become the strongest. For him, the game was the only way to defy his fate and rise above his humble beginnings as a commoner. The representative warns him that the powers that be will find a way to make him concede, whether he likes it or not. He suggests that Lin Jie should retire now while he is still ahead, rather than being forced to fall. In their eyes, someone like Bailey could always recover from a loss, but a single failure for Lin Jie meant total ruin. His world began to crumble when he received a desperate call from his mother about his sister. She tells him that his sister's condition has suddenly worsened due to a mysterious hospital equipment failure. The phone slips from his hand as he hears that men in black were seen at the hospital, threatening his family. He realized with horror that his refusal to lose the match had put his sister's life in immediate danger. Back in the present, his sister looks at him with genuine worry, asking why he's suddenly crying. Lin Jie quickly masks his pain with a smile, telling her that he's simply crying tears of joy. She remains unconvinced, finding it hard to believe that he could really earn $1 million just by playing a game. He promises her that their days of struggling are over, claiming he sold a rare item for a fortune. She immediately gets excited and tries to take his VR helmet, only to be reminded that minors aren't allowed to play. Everyone has their own reasons for playing the game, some for glory, some for dreams. A lot of people are just looking for a way to escape their reality. But for Lin Jie, the goal is simple. He's going to be the absolute strongest. He stands over a field of corpses. People at the bottom of society are the toughest because they have to be. They're used to trading their lives for coin just to survive. Survival is the only miracle he believes in, and that's why he became a player. Back in the real world, he knows he needs to upgrade his gear if he wants to stay at the top. He walks into an official gaming store called Dimensional Edge. He looks up at a massive screen. The Supreme Thunder setup is going for a cool $1 million. In his past life, it took forever to save up for even mid-tier equipment. But this time, he's going for the best equipment right from the start. A clerk looks up and recognizes him, asking if his cheap budget gear is acting up. Lin Jie gets straight to the point. He tells the guy he wants the Supreme Thunder. The clerk's jaw drops. He tells Lin Jie that gear is strictly for top-tier professional players. He scoffs, telling him he couldn't afford a single part of it, even with 10 years of manual labor. Before Lin Jie could even push back against the shopkeeper's long-winded lecture, a figure stepped up to the counter and slammed a payment card onto the table. He wanted to pay for everything in full, all at once. The shopkeeper, seeing this, immediately turned away to suck up to the wealthy new customer, who was none other than Rex. Lin Jie recognizes that annoying voice in a heartbeat. Rex is busy complaining to his thugs about some guy named Lin Jie who humiliated him. He swears he only lost because his equipment was garbage, and says he'd crush him in a fair fight. He turns around and freezes when he sees Lin Jie standing right there. Rex is shocked. This guy is literally following him everywhere. Lin Jie just gives him a bored look. He asks if Rex is looking for another lesson. Rex smirks. He thinks things will be different now that they're face-to-face. He starts acting like a big shot, claiming he's the one who calls the shots in the real world. One of his thugs reminds him that he said the exact same thing back in the game right before getting wrecked. Rex snaps back that you can't cheat in reality, and now they've got him outnumbered. The clerk panics and begs them not to fight inside his shop. He tells Lin Jie to just apologize and kneel before he gets into a mess he can't pay for. Lin Jie sighs. He was actually planning on letting them off easy this time. Rex pulls a knife and spits on the floor. He's desperate to get back the dignity he lost. His thugs are fuming too. They spent a long time leveling up just for him to reset them. Rex lunges forward with the blade, screaming for Lin Jie to just die already. Lin Jie's eyes glow with a sharp intensity. Suddenly, the world starts moving in slow motion for him. 5 years of hellish combat in the game has rewired his brain and turned his reflexes into a machine. To everyone else, it's a blur, but to him, time has slowed down to a crawl. He sidesteps the blade effortlessly. His combat instincts are just as sharp in reality as they are in the game. Rex misses completely and almost falls over. He's terrified, wondering if Lin Jie is cheating in real life too. Lin Jie closes the distance in a split second. A powerful strike lands, and Rex is left gasping for air on the ground. Rex's buddy, Hawk, drops to his knees in total defeat. Lin Jie just stands over them, reminding them that there are no cheats in reality. Lin Jie tells the two thugs they can come at him together if they want to save some time. Realizing they're outmatched, they shout that they're leaving and will be waiting for their boss at the usual spot. With the trash taken care of, Lin Jie hands over his card and tells the clerk he's paying for the Supreme Thunder in full. The clerk is still in shock, unable to believe a manual laborer could actually have this much money. Lin Jie walks out with his new gear, while the clerk awkwardly tells him to come back anytime. As he makes his exit, a mysterious figure watches him from the shadows with a stunned expression. The man from earlier, Hawk, suddenly appears in front of Lin Jie. Lin Jie asks why he didn't just attack him with his brothers back inside the shop. Hawk struggles to find the words, his confidence completely shattered after witnessing Lin Jie's strength. He stammers, clearly having a moment of realization about his own weakness. He grits his teeth and shouts that he wants to become stronger. Lin Jie just looks at him, curious about what this guy is up to. Hawk introduces himself as a Retribution Knight and begs Lord Blade of Dawn for his help. He gets right to the point. He wants Lin Jie to take him in as a disciple. Lin Jie turns to leave, telling the guy he has absolutely no intention of doing that. Hawk doesn't give up and grabs Lin Jie, begging him to just listen for a second. He says he's seen a powerhouse before, but Lin Jie fights like a god of war returned from hell. Hawk admits that he only chose the Retribution Flame talent because he was a coward who was afraid of getting hurt. He says he used flashy but useless skills just to hide the fact that he was scared deep down. Thinking back on his failures, he realizes he needs to change if he ever wants to be a real warrior. He pleads again, saying he truly wants to become a powerful existence just like Lin Jie. Lin Jie stays firm, repeating that he doesn't have any plans to take on disciples right now. But he adds that maybe things will be different in the future, giving Hawk a sliver of hope. Hawk's face lights up. He's thrilled that he wasn't completely rejected. Lin Jie watches him go, nodding that by recognizing his own weaknesses, Hawk is already becoming stronger. Epic is currently updating to version 1.01, and Lin Jie knows he needs to be ready. Hawk cheers in the background, vowing to use this time to prove he's worthy of being a disciple. As Lin Jie walks off with his gear, he can feel the gears of fate shifting into a future no one could have predicted.